Hello everyone and welcome back to the Webnestify channel. In today's video I have something really special for you as this is basically our first free course on the Webnestify channel, and today's topic will be Enhance. So we will split this course into different sections. You can find the timestamps in the description and basically how it goes. So first I will introduce you what is Enhance, then we will talk about why should you consider using Enhance over other solutions. Then I will walk you through how you can install it on your servers, and then of course we will take a look how you can use it, what kind of use cases are there, all about how we can do staging, how we can invite customers, how we can clone the websites, etc., etc. So it will be a little bit longer, this free enhanced course on my channel, but by the end of this, you will get almost full knowledge of how can basically enhance your business, and in the long run, it will save you tremendous amount of money because you don't need to pay for any SaaS solutions like RunCloud, GridPane, xCloud, where basically you are charged per server. And also, what are you getting is that you are connecting third party servers to your servers. So from the security point of view, it is not very ideal solutions if you want to sleep sound and not thinking that, oh, some employee opened the email and their infrastructure got malware, ransomware, and of course it will spread to all connecting servers. So this is one of the greatest solutions that Enhance provides, as it is running on your own infrastructure. And it can be say it is it can yeah we can say it is open source because you have full access to the code. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy this enhanced course, and feel free to join the Webnestify Discord where we can talk. You can ask me more questions if I did not mention anything. And also there will be a premium part of this enhanced course where we will go a little bit deeper about some MariaDB optimization, PHP optimization, some flags, some functions. So if you want to learn more and take your enhanced knowledge a bit further, feel free to join the Webnestify membership. I'm seriously happy if you join there because you will get a little bit more knowledge out of this. So it will greatly benefit you and your business if you decide to run Enhance. So that's it about this course introduction. And as I mentioned, feel free to use the timestamps, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's start. Let's get started. But before we start today's video, I wanted to take a moment and thank you everyone who is currently subscribed to the Webnestify channel, and also for those who joined the Webnestify Discord when we are talking all the related things about open source applications, security, etc., etc. And also, if you like my videos, if you like what I'm doing on this channel and you are not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe to Webnestify channel, and also click the notification icon so you are notified when I release new videos. And of course, if you like the video, like it. And I would like to also invite you to Webnestify Discord to join our amazing conversations that we have here. So thank you everyone, and now let's get back to our video. So let's begin. What is an Enhance? So Enhance is a modern, comprehensive, multi-server website and customer automation platform designed for web hosting companies or web agencies. The Enhance frontend is built using React and TypeScript, and under the hood, it is written in Rust. So here is the biggest difference versus cPanel, Plesk, because they are built in old technology. And also Enhance can be installed on cloud or physical servers, owned or rented, as long as you have the root access. It is a self-hosted control panel without any third-party server connecting to your infrastructure. So what are the key differences between Enhance, cPanel, Plesk, and any other traditional control panel as we know them? So first difference is that Enhance is truly unlimited multi-server capability. A single Enhance control panel server can manage hundreds of servers, each providing any combination of roles, applications, email, database, backups, or DNS. So your customers can be spread across these servers or tied to a single server. One email server could support multiple application servers. Also, Enhance is a single panel, so it provides a single user interface to manage all of your servers, customers, and their customers and websites. So your customers can resell the web hosting packages if you enable it as an admin or provider. And I will talk you through the features in the future. Another great thing are backups. So the backup role can be installed on any server in your cluster or multiple servers, and they can run commodity hardware from any available block device. Incremental snapshots backups are used for the disk space efficiency. There is also a website isolation. So every PHP website on Enhance runs with its own container under its own Unix user, providing a true isolation even with the same hosting package. Enhance also provides domain aliases comparable to add-on domains, which can map to directories within the same website. So as you can see, Enhance is inherently secure by its design with unique underlying technology and various customer-centric features. By default, all inter-server communication is encrypted, and each website and service on Enhance is containerized, so limiting the potential attack surface. The Enhanced Control Panel is protected with brute force protection, but you can also protect it yourself with other software like CrowdSec Fail2Ban. And features like role-based access, WordPress security tools, automatic Let's Encrypt provisioning, and third-party SSL certificates supports all and contribute to the individual site security. So now let's talk about the pricing. So Enhance is priced and built per website. There is minimum cost for the Enhance license, and that is $10, which gets you around 66 websites. And then it is priced per website, so it is 15 cents per website. And if you're running more than 5,000 websites, it will drop down to 10 cents. And if you run more than 25,000 websites, it will be priced per 75 cents. So as you can see, the pricing is seriously amazing, where you don't paying for number of servers that you have, like with the traditional SaaS control panels. And another great thing is that when you check their pricing websites, you have subdomains, add-on domains, and alias domains included at no extra costs. You will get access to WordPress Toolkit, incremental backups, unlimited servers in your cluster, resource limits, PHP, and servers containerization. So for $10, you can run over 60 websites, plus, of course, the server cost, but we will cover server cost in the future lesson. So yeah, the pricing is seriously great, amazing, and scalable. And what's new in Enhance since our last video in last year? So the version V12 introduced completely different, of complete rewrite of the Enhance and all the packages. Before it was using a Docker and Docker underlying infrastructure, which uh, there could be some hit on the performance memory management. And now, since the version V12, Enhance is just using standard system packages on Ubuntu. So instead of having 4 containers with FTP, database, and other stuff, it is now being handled all in one by appcd. And also orgd was a little bit rewritten, and from the reviews of the V12 there was, and also what I could see, there was a big memory reduce usage, which is always great. So we can squeeze more out of our servers that we are renting or running our own bare metal. You can also check the release notes for the version V12, what exactly was changed. But this change was really welcomed, and yeah, it was just amazing work of the enhanced team. So for you, maybe as an end user, you maybe did not notice anything or maybe some small improvements. But for us, system managers and for the companies who are offering dedicated hosting and related services, this was amazing update. And another great thing being enhanced customer is that you get access to enhanced community. In enhanced community, you can discuss topics, discuss issues, future improvements, or get some knowledge from other enhanced users. Also, you can request your features in enhance, and if they get approved, they will be put into the development pipeline. And as it goes for the updates and adding new features into your enhance, there is some roadmap which we can see. We can check the roadmap, and you can see which are under development, which are being approved, and so on and so forth. But note that if the roadmap can change, because Enhance is a company and also they have really big enterprise customers, so they prioritize feature set almost dictated by those big enterprise companies. And many of you think this is not very good. It should be like community focused, but Enhance is not community. Enhance is a business, and if you need to run a profitable business, you of course need to prioritize features that big top 100 companies gives you. So I'm not taking it that I don't like it. I completely understand it, and yeah, we should be grateful for what we have, because Enhance is seriously a game changer. And don't complain if your favorite feature is being pushed back. Just don't complain. Don't open a ticket, don't open an angry post in the community. Just wait until it will be developed. So yeah, that's what can I say about it. So you also need to understand their point of view. Another thing that I like with Enhance is their documentation portal. Their documentation is seriously comprehensive, where you can get most of the answers you need. You can check how you can install your Enhance cluster, what are the post install steps, hardware requirements, and then you can get know with the application, PHP, backups, and all the related services that are available in your Enhanced cluster. Of course, I'm going to be showing you what features and what workflow I like to do, because this course is dedicated dedicated to running your dedicated hosting environment. Um, I won't cover features and things that are meant for the shared hosting. So if you are planning to run your share hosting, then you will need to check the documentation, and you can also follow my steps like the installation and post installation steps. But I will make clear note that this is only for the dedicated hosting environment. I want to take a moment to give a huge thank you to all the amazing members who joined the Webnestify community. Your support really means the world to me. It helps me creating this content and go deeper into advanced topics and build the kind of resources that free tutorials alone can't cover. So shout out to our current members, you are the reason this channel keeps growing stronger. And also, if you are experienced developer and you have knowledge how to work with APIs, then Enhance provides seriously amazing API which allows you to programmatically control every single aspect of your Enhance infrastructure. You can deploy websites, you can create new customers, you can set up new packages, etc., etc. So if you want to build your own like hosting portal where customers can purchase something, full power to you because the Enhance API is great. All right, so let's just now continue with the Enhance installation. But before, there are some prerequisites and also some hardware requirements which I'm going to tell you right now. So in order to install the Enhance, you will need to have your license key, and you can get a license key from the enhance.com where you can sign up and purchase the license key. And for the hardware requirements, you will need a blank full virtual machine or bare metal server. Then you will need Ubuntu 24.04, which is the latest LTS release, and seriously minimum of 2 GB of RAM and 20 GB storage, and this is just for running the Enhance panel itself. And it needs to be x86 64 AMD 64 architecture. You cannot use Enhance on ARM yet, but it is in the roadmap. And yes, those minimum requirements are for the panel. But if you decide to use panel, web server, database, backups, then of course you will need to have a bigger server. But I don't highly recommend using every role on a single server. So the best workflow will be to have the server panel alone and then have a dedicated web server, database, and backups on itself. You can even spread backups feature to another server. I'm going to show you that later, how we can add servers and how you can attach those roles to those servers. So once we have this, we can now continue with our servers, how we can deploy them, etc., etc. Also, a big disclaimer. Running your own servers and offering hosting services, whether for your clients or your own business, comes with a serious responsibility. Servers are not set and forget systems. They are living, evolving environments that require ongoing attention, maintenance, and the oversight. This course assumes you already have a solid understanding of Linux systems, server administration, and related technologies. If you are not comfortable managing these aspects or find it overwhelming, I strongly recommend working with a trusted, reputable partner who can handle the operational side for you. Here at Webnestify, I can personally help you to get the most out of your enhanced infrastructure, providing dedicated support, guidance, and optimization so we can focus your valuable time on growing your business and not firefighting the servers. And also, please note that this course is focused exclusively on dedicated hosting environments. I do not support or recommend share hosting in 2025. It's less secure, less efficient, and no longer cost effective compared to dedicated setups. Additionally, DNS and email services are outside of scope of this course. These should be ideally managed by your customers or external providers. While of course it's possible to self-host DNS or email servers like Mailcow or set up email role in Enhance, that's a deep rabbit hole. And this course is designed for those building truly dedicated, modern, and hosting infrastructures. So for your VPS provider, I can highly recommend using Hetzner because not only they are a Webnestify business partner, I'm using it for many, many years and they never let me down, but also for my personal projects and all the things, Hetzner is just really great provider. They have great customer support if you need them, and yeah, the prices are just out of this world. Their features like firewall, DDoS protection, everything is built in into the price, so there are no upsells. For example, for DDoS protection, like in Vulture, you need to pay $10 more for, that should be as a standard for the security. And when you check the pricing for the dedicated servers in Hetzner, they are starting from $14 a month for two dedicated CPU cores, 8 gigabyte of RAM, 80 gigabyte of NVMe storage, and you can get up to 20 terabytes of traffic in Europe or 1 terabyte in the US. So seriously, the Hetzner is seriously good. So I cannot recommend it highly enough. And if you want to get also started with Hetzner and follow this course step by step, feel free to click the link in the description where you can get $20 to get started with Hetzner. So yeah, so now let's jump into our Hetzner dashboard and we can prepare our service. All right, so once you logged in into your Hetzner console or any other provider's dashboard, you can follow the step by step. The user interface may vary, and the principles will stay the same regardless of the server provider. So first thing what we need to create in our console is a project. So let's just do it. Let's create our new project and we call it Enhance Tutorial. Your project name may vary. So we click Add Project, and at the beginning, what we need to do is to add our SSH key for this project. So we go to the security menu and we will add our SSH key. So let me just paste my public SSH key. I'm gonna use it as default key. And you can click Add SSH key. Another thing what you may consider is to add S3 credentials if you have some buckets already in Hetzner. You can generate API tokens if you want to programmatically control the Hetzner project. But if you have team members, you can also add your team members to your project. They can be as a member, admin, or even restricted role. So that's completely up to you and depending on your use case. So once we have our SSH key done, the next thing what we need to do is create our private network. So let's click Create Network. We can name it ECP, like Enhanced Control Panel. Network zone will depend where you want to deploy your servers, but for now let's stick in EU Central, and we're gonna do subnet 23, which give us 254 private IP addresses. So let's create our network, and next what we need to create is our firewall, because without firewall you should not run any servers. Always use firewall. I know many of you that I also got access that I was securing the servers, for example, in Vulture or DigitalOceans. There was no firewall set up, so seriously, take time and set up your firewall properly. So let's click create our new firewall rule. And first rule will be for our control panel server. And then we will create another firewall rule for our web application server. All right. So the first rule will be for SSH. And you can remove any IPv6. If you want to use IPv6, just don't remove it. But in my use case, I never use IPv6 because there's no need for now. In the future, of course, so you can enable it and you can future-proof it. But for now, I like to keep things simple, and when it's time to change, I got no problem to change it later. So for our SSH rule, you can keep it open to any IP address, but if you have your own dedicated IP address from VPN, or even your internet provider offers you a dedicated IP address, I highly recommend limiting this port to only you. So only you can SSH and log in to your server. So for the sake of this tutorial, we just keep it open for any IPv6, but yeah, if you have those options with dedicated IP, just put it there. Another thing, we can, if you want to, monitor your server, you can keep ICMP open for the ping. But for now, yeah, I don't need it because I monitor SSH port without any pings, so we can remove this rule. And then we will need to add a rule called HTTP and also HTTPS. Protocol for HTTP will be 80 and for HTTPS will be 443 because the enhanced panel needs to be accessible over the internet. You can also possibly, if you want to run it like intranet, you can also limit it to your VPN address, so only you and your people can access it. Okay, let me remove any IPv6 and then we will add additional 3 rules, but we will finish with those rules once we have our servers deployed, because we will whitelist communication between those servers on those firewall. And for now, there's no possible option to put enhanced infrastructure behind the private IP subnet, but it is in the roadmap. So in the future, we don't need to tinker with that firewall. All the inter-server communication will be done through private subnet. Okay, so for now, let's just put 127.0.0.1. Also here, 127.0.0.1. Let me copy that, and also here, and it will be TCP any port, UDP any port, and also we can use, hold on, where is it? ICMP, so the servers can, ping between themselves. And for the outbound rule, we want to keep all outbound traffic open, and we can name it ECP panel. Let's create our firewall. And another firewall will be for our web server. So we can duplicate this, ECP web apps. We can duplicate it, and when we go to rules, again, we can keep SSH, HTTP, HTTPS widely open. This will be stack, like the enhanced stack. And there are some additional rules we need to open for our web server, because we want to also open port 443 UDP for the HTTP3 or quick to be allowed. So we can keep that to any IPv4, quick, protocol UDP port 443. And then we need to add additional 2 rules, or maybe we add additional 3 rules for the FTP. And also, if you decide to use Open Lightspeed or Lightspeed Enterprise, you want to need port open in order to access the Lightspeed admin interface. So let's just start with FTP. And for the FTP, again, any IPv4. And it will be port 21 TCP. And also we need to open a port range for FTP to work successfully. And the port range is 30,000 to 31,000. And for the LSA admin, Lightspeed admin interface, you can also put it behind your dedicated IP, which I also recommend. And port is TCP 7080. And let me double check if we have everything correctly set it up. So SSH, HTTP, stack. Okay, that looks correct. And also, if you decide to use like a standalone server for the database, I'm going to show you straight away. So let's click Save Changes. And then we go to the firewalls. We can clone this. So we can duplicate our web application firewall. And now we will create database firewall. And when we go to rules, we want to keep SSH. We can remove HTTP. And then we want to keep stack open. We also remove the quick protocol, FTPs, and a Lightspeed admin. But what's really important for the database that you will need to have open 3006 open for the MariaDB or MySQL. And you can even have it here when you put your IP addresses there, or you can create a separate firewall rule. That's completely up to you. But for the sake of having everything nicely organized so we can edit in the future, we can create our rule. So it will be database. And what's really important when you open your database to the public or on a separate server, that means every server connected to Enhance will need to connect to the database on this remote machine. So you cannot use database role server standalone and having any IPv4 or IPv6 connecting to the MariaDB port. So this is not secure and you cannot run it. You always need to whitelist those servers IP, protocol TCP, and database port 3306, right? But in our video, we will not deploy our database server because you will lose performance for now because you need to connect over the public IP. Maybe in the future, when we have options to set up our stack over the private network, there won't be any packet loss or any timeouts between the database. So in that case, it can be viable. But for now, I will not cover using remote database. But I'm just showing you if you decide, because you can decide how you want to run it, right? I'm just here telling you the best practices and what I recommend to you. So yeah. So make sure, do not expose this port widely open. It's gonna be recipe for disaster. So let's just close it and we can basically cancel it and we can remove our database firewall. And I'm not touching even for the DNS or email server because those, as I said in the intro, should be handled by someone else, ideally your customers. So you don't want to spend time tinkering with DNS and emails. All right, so I think that's it for this. And now it's time to deploy our panel server and also our web application server. All right, so let's deploy our two servers. So when you go to the servers menu, you have a button to add a server. And at the beginning, you will need to choose from what location you want to run your panel. And for example, if you have or if you are providing hosting in different regions like America, Germany, East, it's best to set the panel server close to those stacks. So for example, if you are going to have a panel server in the US, you want to only add servers from the US because, as I was mentioning, everything is over a public network. So there can be some latency issues if you set up a panel in the US and you add a server from the Europe. So the communication will need to travel long distances. So sometimes it can cause some issues, but always you need to have the panel where you want to offer your services. So if you have 3 countries, then you will have the panel servers in the 3 countries like US, EU, or even East, like in Singapore. So in my case, we will use Germany. I can choose between Nuremberg, Frankenstein, or Helsinki. So let's just do Nuremberg. And for the image, we will use Ubuntu 24.04, as you can also saw in the requirements in the documentation. And for the type, the best will be to have a dedicated CPU for the maximum performance. And then this server, the CCX13, is completely fine to run your panel on the Enhance. For the networking, we don't need public IPv6, but we want to attach this server to our private network for the future proofing when the private network will be released in Enhance. We will add our SSH key that we added before, and then we will attach this server to our firewall. Then you want to enable the backups, and the backups cost additional 20% of the server price, which is industry standard. And also we need to create a placement group. And placement group is that it will scatter your virtual machines over the different nodes. And this is really helpful. If some node have issue in the head snare, that means all the servers on that particular node will be down. But if you have spread your servers out via the placement group, there is a smaller chance that your server will be affected because it will be on completely different cluster or server node. So let's just name it ECP. And you can also put labels, and the cloud config is really important because it saves you a lot of time configuring your server. So I'm going to paste my cloud config file, but if you don't have it or if you did not watch my previous videos, hop on to Webnestify Discord where you can download the cloud init template. It's really easy and straightforward, and what it does basically, it will create your dedicated sudo user. It will disable the password authentication to the server. It will disable login as root. It will install automatic updates, automatic security updates. It will tweak the kernel, so you don't need to follow some annoying messages when you are doing updates. It will set swap file, and yeah, that's basically it. And you have also options to put your custom script. So if you have like some software that you want to keep installing on every single server, you can even put those there in the cloud init. So it will save you a little bit of time. And for the name, we will name it ECP panel. We can create and buy. All right, so we have now our panel server, and let's add another server. And this one will be for our web application. And again, choose your location wisely. Stick to US, stick to EU. So again, it will be Ubuntu 24.04. We will use dedicated CPU. And you can even go for application server with 2 cores, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 80 gigabytes storage. And it really depends what kind of web applications you want to add to this. So there is some golden rule that I like to follow, and that is like 10 simple, not very busy websites. We have 10 websites per dedicated CPU core. So on this server, we could put more than 20 websites, which should be fine. And if those websites have like some dynamic content like WP Grid Builder, on those kind of things that is heavily used as dynamic things, then the ratio can be lower, 5 to 6 websites per dedicated CPU core. And if you have WooCommerce websites like the WooCommerce stores, and yeah, then truly one website, 1 or 2 websites per CPU core. So it really depends how many products, how many customers are there on the website. So yeah, try to stick, monitor your servers, and you will see how it performs. But I have some servers, for example, on this server, there are like 45 just static websites, right? There is no WordPress, so yeah, you can put whatever on how many you want. So yeah, the choice is yours. And yeah, I think the 10 simple websites per CPU core is good rule to follow. Okay, so let's continue with that. Again, we will disable public IPv6. We attach our server to private network. And then we will choose the ECP web app firewall, enable backups, placement group. You can put labels. And again, I will paste my cloud config and we will name it ECP web apps. And let's create and buy. Another thing what we need to attach to our web application server is the volume. And the volume is necessary for the backups. So we can either specify a separate server for the backup role, but again, it will be in communications between the servers, so it will not be on the full speed as running your backups in your own servers. So yeah, in that case, we will attach the volume. So when you go to the volumes menu, you click create volume, and I like to put like 60 gigabytes of NVMe block storage for our web application server, and we will name it ECP backups. We will choose our server, which is web apps, and we just mount it. We will mount it automatically, and the file system will be ext4. So let's create and buy now. Okay, let's just wait a bit or maybe refresh. And as you can see, we have now our volume for the backups, and we have our panel server and web application server. So now the Hetzner, everything we have prepared for our successful deployment. Alright, so before we jump into our terminal, we need to whitelist those server IP addresses. So let me copy this first IP address, and also let's copy the second IP address and go back to our firewalls. Let's go to your web app firewall and let's replace this placeholder and also this one. And also in the future, when you will add more servers to your clusters, make sure to whitelist those IP addresses there. Let's click Save Changes. And also for the panel server, we will replace those. And also we will name it as a stack. And click Save Changes. And now we can SSH into our servers to install the Enhance. Hello there, Simon here. Sorry for the interruption, but I have something exciting to share with you. Do you want to take your knowledge and skills even further and go beyond the basics? If the answer is yes, I invite you to join the Webnestify channel membership. Members get exclusive deep dives and advanced tutorials, behind the scenes insights, and private Discord community, and monthly live Q&A calls with me. Click the join below to hop in, and now let's continue with video. So let me do that. Let me double check. Yes, we are in our terminal. And what we need to do is now to copy the installation script from the NS documentation. So copy the script and go back to your terminal. And make sure you are in the enhanced control panel server. So let's just paste the script and let it install. So it can take 5 to 10 minutes, depends on your server speed. Alright, so our enhanced panel have been successfully installed, and now we need to log in into our enhanced panel first time. And in order to do it, as you can see, we will need to visit the IP address because we don't have any domain set up for this enhanced panel. So what we need to do, we need to go back to our Hetzner firewall and we need to open port 2087. So let me go back to our firewall for the control panel. And we will open port for now. And port will be 2087. Let's click Save Changes. Once we have this firewall open, let's go back to our terminus. And what we can do, we can copy this link. Then we go back to our browser and we open it in a new tab. You will get error, your connection is not private because we have self-signed SSL. That's completely fine. So let's go to advanced and let's proceed. And now we are in our enhanced dashboard. So once you are here, that means you have successfully installed your enhanced control panel. And if you run into some issues or into some errors, feel free to ask me on Discord, or you can even leave comment in the video description, or feel free to open a post in the enhanced community, and I'm sure that someone will definitely help you out. So yeah, that's it for the installation, and the next steps, what in this course will be the proper setup of your enhanced hosting environment. All right, so now let's continue with the first step when we log into our enhanced control interface is to change the default email, the default password, enable two-factor authentication, and all those security things that we need to get it done right from the beginning. So let's just do it. So when you log in, of course, you can change to the dark mode. That's completely up to you, and we will keep it in the light mode for now. But when we go here in our profile menu, we go to the My Account, and what you want to change it is your full name. So let's just do Simon. And also we want to change the email address, which will be simon at cloudflaretools.org. And here you will need to put the password that you can copy from the terminal. So when you was installing, it will give you the password. So let me just do that. Let me go to my terminal and let me copy the password. And there we have it. And also we can choose the language and you can click save. And as you can see, now our email have been changed and also our name. Next, what you can also do is to upload your photo, your avatar. Let me go here and let me see this one. So I put my photo there, and then what you want to do is the reset the password that was generated automatically. So you click the reset, you paste the current password, and then you go to do your Bitwarden or your password manager of choice, and you want to generate some strong passphrase like this. 7 words is completely fine. Let's just save it, the new password, and click save. Then you also make sure to save this login in your Bitwarden. Okay, and one last thing what we need to enable is two-factor authentication. So let's just do it. Open your Bitwarden again with your password that you saved. Click edit. And here you can see authenticator key. You click this photo icon and it will scan the QR code here on the screen. So let's just click save and copy the 2FA. And also you can use your mobile application. And that's it. And now we can easily log in. So let me copy this and also the password. Okay, somehow it does not work. So let me do an SSO. So when you go back to your terminal, you can type ECP SSO and it will generate single use login. Because for some reason, I'm not sure what's wrong there. So let's just do it. And let me go back, simoncloudflaretools.org. So let's go back to my account. And I will try to reset the password. Okay. Let's just do it. And let's generate maybe shorter one, because I'm not sure. Or let's just go with standard password. Like that. Click save. And our password have been updated. Let's click update also in the Bitwarden. And then let's just try to log in again. Let's go to the Bitwarden autofill. Come on, Bitwarden. Go to the vault. Why did not update it here? Let me see. Okay, now should be everything correct. So let's click login and paste your two-factor code. And now we have secured our administrative account to our Enhance panel. All right, so once we have our account secured, now it's time to put the Enhance panel over the proper domain. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need open the master server. And here, as you can see, we have add the control panel website. So let's click on that. And first, before we add the control panel domain, we need to put the enhance license key. So when we go to enhance.com, if you don't have account, you will need to create your account or get started. So let's just log into my account and I will grab my license key. All right, so I'm going to copy my license key. We go back to our panel and we go to the settings, license, edit, and paste your key from your Enhance account. And now we have everything active. So let's go to the home, master server, and we will add our control panel domain. In this case, it will be panel.cftoots.org. And also we will add domain for the PHP myadmin, which will be php cftoots.org. And also you want to add your staging domain. We will talk about staging further in this course, but for now we just need to set up some basics. And how the staging works, you can basically put the root domain, cftoots.org, and all the staging websites will be on a subdomain. So let's click save, save, and save. Let's go back to the home screen and let's copy the master server IP address. Go to your DNS registrar. Where are you managing your DNS? In my case, I use Cloudflare for every single domain I own or manage because Cloudflare is really great at the domain management. You can get access to API, etc., etc. So let's just add our record, and first will be for the panel. You don't want to keep the proxy on. And then second will be for PHP, the PHP myadmin interface. So let's click save. And later we will add also, when we have our web application server, the staging DNS. Okay, that's it. Let's go back to our websites. Let's open this one, and you can wait for SSL to be generated. Usually is within a minute, but if you don't want to wait, just go to the security and request your Let's Encrypt certificate. And you can do the both for both panel and PHP domain. So Let's Encrypt, request, and now you just need to wait a little bit. All right, and we have both domains secured by SSL. And now what we need to do is to log out, then go back to your firewall. In our case, is in Hetzner. Open the panel firewall and make sure to remove this 2087 port, so nobody can connect over this IP address and the port. Let's click Save Changes, and then when we just type a panel.cloudflaretuts.org, and as you can see, we have everything on our domain with the SSL on. Another thing left to do is to change our entry in our Bitwarden. So let me remove this old one. And let me grab the server IP just for now. Grab the IP, go here. We can search it, can edit it, and let's name it VN Toots panel. And we will also add our domain here. which will be panel.cftoots.org. And let's just do detection to the host. And let's click save. And now we should be good to go. Let me refresh the page. And yeah, there we have it. So what we've done in our 2 steps, we secured our administrative account and we put our enhanced installation on the proper domain with SSL on. The next part will be setting up some basic things before we add any additional servers. So in your dashboard, you can see this your account setup. Get started. We can complete. We can mark all as complete, but note it will reappear again because there's some bug with this. It will always appear, so it will be fixed in the future release. And yeah, first, what I like to do is open the master server, and I want to rename it to my own liking. So I'm gonna be using a panel. And then also I want to go to the applications. I want disable placement of any other applications because this server will be serving only the phpMyAdmin and the panel interface itself. So let's just click disable, and we don't want to add any additional roles. Another thing what I like to do is go to the settings, the 3 dots on the right. Let's go to the server group, and we will need to create our server groups. So let's just go back to the servers, manage groups, and we will name it like the control. And also we can create our group for our application servers. So applications, or you can name it like the web applications. So it's completely up to you how you want to name it. So let's click add, let's click save, and then we again we click manage, and we go to the server group, and we put our control panel server to the control group. And you can also capture screenshots, but in my case I always disable the capture screenshot feature because I don't need screenshots. If you want, you can keep it enabled. That's completely up to you. And yeah, for the server hostname, you don't need to put the server hostname because we don't have any email. And as I was mentioning, I will not be covering the email role because you should not host your own emails. And yeah, so let's go back, and for the server group and the naming, that's already done. And when we go now to the settings, let's explore the branding settings. And as you may know, with the branding, you can control the look and feel of your panel. You can put, for example, organization name, it's gonna be Webnestify, and you can put your own support URL, e-commerce URL, system generated email from address, billing URL, and create account URL. So we have full control over those, but I'm not using any of those, except you can set up your system generated emails from, like, if you have the postmark, you put your email address there. And then we will have the control panel. It can default to the dark mode. You can put some logos, icons, favicons. Even you can customize the logout destination URL and also the login page image. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Feel free to customize it to match your business brand. And also we have some styling. You can change some fonts, border radius, colors. And yeah, that's basically it. It's really simple and straightforward for the branding. So let me click save. Then when we go to the service menu, here you can control the you can control some global stuff. Like if you want to have some email for the smart host, you can edit it and you can put it here. But in my case, I'm not going to be using any smart host features. Then for the application, you can put global PHP init directives and also PHP FPM directives. And I will be covering the advanced PHP init directives in the in the premium version of this course, which will be available for the Webnestify channel members. And then for the backups, yes, you can control how often the backups are done. So the first option is delay first backup. In our case, we want to maybe delay it for 1 hour. So when you deploy new web application, WordPress or any app that you enable the backups, it will wait 1 hour and then it will create our first backup. Then you can control the minimum backup age. I usually keep it to 12 hours, but if this means it will do backup every 12 hours. So it really depends how often you want to create backups. If you want to offer backups every 4 hours, you put minimum backup age 4 hours. And also then you will need to control the maximum backup age, which is pretty self-explanatory. And here you control the backup retention. If you want to store backups for longer, you can choose 90 days, 60 days, but I like to keep them to 4 days. And the most important settings in the backup option is the maximum concurrent backups. So imagine you are having 20 websites and you have 2 or 3 CPU cores, and then 8 backups are doing at the same time. And what would happen? The website becomes slow, unresponsive, and it could possibly time out. So depending on your case and on your CPU, I recommend doing, if you have 2 dedicated cores, 2 to 4 concurrent backups, right? Just to be on the safer side. If you have a bare metal server without any virtualization, no worries, you can go even with the 15. It got the horsepower. And here you can control the allowed backups hours, so you can choose what time you want to do your backups. All right, so we covered the service options in the enhance. So let's go back, and now we will take a look at the platform settings. And the platform controls the control panel, right? So we already set the platform domains. We don't do any global webmail domain. Server placement, this is feature meant for the shared hosting environment where you can group multiple servers and then you can choose where new customer websites will be on. So you can choose list load, list websites, or even random. So this is basically for the shared hosting. This has nothing to do with a dedicated environment, so I'm not going to be covering it. For the name servers, again, we are not doing our own DNS server, so this is out of the scope of this. And yeah, note if you want to do your DNS and the domains in Enhance, you will need to put your name servers there. That means you need to, in your registrar, you need to put glue records of the panel server. The website and subscriptions, hard delete after it defaults to 7 days, which is great. And this is really handy feature. For example, if some customer accidentally delete the website, you as an admin, you can go and see and you can restore this website before this 7 days expired. So we can control how long you want to give it. Control panel API server logs, keep it warm, because if you're gonna do to the info or debug, it will clunk up the disk space because the log files will become really, really big. Here you can control the language. DDoS brute force protection. So we want to also rate limit login. I usually put 3 within the 1 minute. And if you have your own custom IP blacklist or whitelist, you can add your IP addresses there. You can also remit the emails, which we are not doing. We are not doing DNS zone templating. So this will be like the DNS templates for all new zones. Here you can put the prohibited domains and also the admin lockdown. So these tools lets you restrict login to the master organization to a safe list. And this feature is not supported if you are running Open Lightspeed or Lightspeed on your control panel server. And in our case, we don't need to use basically Open Lightspeed or Lightspeed, so it will work completely fine. All right, so we covered the platform. Then we go to the packages, and I will cover packages in the next lesson. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the, I consider it the important feature of your Enhance installation. And those are packages. So when you go to the settings and packages, we will need to create some default or template packages. So let's click add a package. And we will name, for example, our first package will be for for ourselves, or we can name it like the how it, how it calls the blueprint package. So for example, we can name it dedicated to virtual CPU cores. The package type will be dedicated. For the website resources, you can also limit the number of websites, but in our case, this is our blueprint. So when we add our future customers, depending on the package, we can put it there. Number of staging websites, we can also put unlimited. Disk space allowance is really important, so it does not go over the system requirements disk space. So in our case, we have 80 gigabyte NVMe SSD on our server, and usually I like to keep 20 to 25 gigabytes just for the system. So what we put here is 55 gigabyte will be available for the websites and applications. Monthly page views, we don't limit that. This can be done for the shared hosting. The bandwidth is also important. As you may know, in Hetzner, the servers have 20 terabytes of bandwidth. So in our case, we can put 19 terabytes. And then you can also limit the number of MySQL databases, FTP accounts. And system resources are seriously meant for the shared hosting. I never got into any issues having everything unlimited on a dedicated server. But you can definitely control, the IOPS, IO bandwidth, and procs. That's completely up to you how you want to run your business. But as I'm mentioning, I don't have any issues running everything unlimited. Another option in the packages is the applications. So usually you want to allow customers install their WordPress. If they don't need any WordPress, they are running some static websites or Node.js applications, you can just uncheck it. But in our case, we can enable it. And here you can choose with the pre-install application, can be WordPress or WordPress with WooCommerce. Pre-install plugins, you can select plugins from the WordPress repository. So I usually do Lightspeed cache to be automatically installed of every single WordPress installation. And then you can also pre-select the theme you want to install. Then you can enable the WordPress admin lockdown, allow WordPress plugin manager, theme manager, and also the user management. Emails, we are not doing any emails. And here we have the domain settings. I usually keep this unlimited, and usually you want to keep disabled the DNS zone editor and DNSSEC because we are not doing any DNS shenanigans. All right, and then once we have our application with the backups, we go back to this package and we will also enable the backups feature, so the customer can do their own manual backups and they can also self-restore their own backups. For the features, yes, we can enable the self-installation of SSL. That means you can upload your own SSL certificate for the domain. Then if you want to provide XSH access in your package for your customers, you can keep it enabled. You can enable the website cloning and allow PHP in editor. So this means we will set up our global PHP rules, but also you want to give customers right to tweak some settings or add their own additional if they need. So you don't need to be contacted. So you can also enable it. And for the PHP version, I don't use all current and future PHP versions. I always use the latest three releases, which is 8.4, 8.3, and 8.2. And I disable everything else, and the default PHP version will be 8.4. Then you can allow Redis for the package, and also if you know that customer will need to have some Node.js applications, you can keep that enabled. And here are the reselling. So yeah, this is meant for the shared hosting, so we are not going to mess with the reselling. So once everything we have customized, let me double check if everything is correct, and we can click our package, and we have our dedicated 2 CPU core package. And if you want to create a different package, what you can do, you just go to the 3 dots menu, you go duplicate it, and we can name it dedicated for the CPU cores. Let's click duplicate, open it, and here we can just limit the disk space to 140 gigabytes. Let's click save. And yeah, that's basically how you can create the blueprint packages. So now let's just imagine that we will have our new application server. So we are going to onboard a new customer and we want to create a package for it. So again, depending on your server specs, we will just do this one. We will duplicate it and we can name it our first customer. Let's duplicate it and let's double check what we want to keep enabled. So that looks correct. So let's go back and yeah, now we are ready to add our new application server to our enhanced estate. Another thing that I want to cover briefly are the enhanced integrations. And as you can see, you can integrate your Cloudflare account, the object storage S3 bucket, and also Slack. But note, with Cloudflare, it will sync your current DNS from the enhance, and also it will overwrite all DNS records in your Cloudflare account. So don't use this if you are not using the enhance DNS systems. And the reason is because if you add your own account, as I mentioned, it will overwrite all the DNS records you have in your account and for that particular domain. And this feature is meant for your own DNS system, so you can push changes to your Cloudflare. Object storage is really nice if you want to push your backups there, but unfortunately for now, there are no incremental backups feature for the S3 storage. It will always push the full system, full website backup. So yeah, you can use it whatever. It's completely up to you. I'm not using it. I'm using my own backup script, which you can also find in my channel for the databases and also for the files. And Slack, yes, you can enable the Slack integration for the system notification. So if you are using Slack, you have option to enable the Slack notifications. Okay, so now we are ready to add our web application server with database and with the backup system into our enhanced control panel estate. So first what we need to do, as you can remember, we added the volume for the web application server. Here is our volume attached to the server. So what we need to do is to Go to the volume, click those three settings and show the configuration. And basically we will create some mount space for those backups. So what we need to do is copy this command, go back to our web application server, paste, and it created the directory in mount ECP backups folder where all the website data, the website backups will be stored. Okay, let's continue with the setup. Then we will mount our volume, so copy the second command. And now as you can see, when we do ls blk, now we have our volume mounted, but we need to also add fstab record, so when the system reboots, it will mount it automatically. So let's go back and get our last command, which is add volume to fstab. So copy it, go back to your terminal and paste it. And also we want to clear these fstab entries, so do nano etc fstab, and we will clear this default volume naming from the headsner. So Ctrl O enter and Ctrl X to exit. Clear the screen, and now we are ready to install our web application server. So we go back to our Enhance. We can go to the servers menu and we will add our new server. And here you just need to copy this installation command and paste it to your web application server. So let's go back to our terminal. Let's paste the command. And now sit back and relax, and within 5 to 10 minutes, your new system will be up and ready. Alright, as you can see, now our server is ready to be prepared in our enhanced installation. So let me open a browser. And we can refresh the screen. So here we have our ungrouped ECP web app server. So first things what we need to do is to change the name, of course, which will be web applications. Let's click save. Then we again go to the server group settings. We put it into our application group, and I will disable the screenshots, but you can keep it enabled. That's completely up to you. Okay, so let's go back, and here it will ask you to add a new role to the server. So as I was mentioning at the beginning, Enhance is a fully fledged control panel system where you can host your email, your DNS, your backups, database, and applications. So in our case, we will be just focusing on application, database, and the backups. So let's click application. Here you can choose which web server type you want to run. You can run Apache, Lightspeed Enterprise, which you will need a serial number, or a trial license, then Open Lightspeed, and also Nginx. And as you know me, I'm advocating for Lightspeed and Open Lightspeed in general for all the time, because those web servers are really performant and they are battle tested. So I found performance way better than Apache, and also the way better than Nginx. And now I can see all the comments that, yeah, if you configure the Nginx, it can be on the par with Open Lightspeed or Lightspeed Enterprise. Yes, of course, it can be. But yeah, I like to use Lightspeed cache and all those nice things, because with Nginx, you will need to spend a little bit more, and there is a big learning curve with Nginx. And yeah, so let's check the Open Lightspeed. And for the database, you have also options for MariaDB or MySQL. And MariaDB in general is better and more performant than standard MySQL. And you have also options to choose LTS, all the rolling release. And for the maximum stability and security, choose LTS. And for the MySQL, you have 8 or 8.4 version to choose. So let's stick with MariaDB. And then we have the backups. So now it will ask you to put your backup path. And as you remember, we mounted the volume to mnt/ecp backups. And you can always verify it by going to your terminal and type lsblk. And yes, our path is /mnt/ecp backups. That's completely okay. And now we will add our roles to the web server. So now you just need to wait a little bit. All right, and after a short minute, the application, the backup, and the database features are enabled on the server, and you can confirm by going through the database. We are running MariaDB and also the backups. So yeah, and also while we are in the application menu, you can also check, for example, the PHP settings, which we will cover in the premium version of this course. And then also if you want, you can also enable the web disk quota. That means if you put in the package 55 gigabytes of data, it won't be able to go over that 55 gigabytes. So it is completely up to you, but make sure once you set it, you cannot disable it. So in our case, we can just click enable, and now it will enforce the hard disk quota limit, which is set on the customer hosting package. Okay, that's it for this web application role installation, and now we can move with creating our package and adding our first customer. Okay, so once you have your server ready, we can remove those pop-ups, and what we need to do first is go back to the package menu, and this is our first package that we will attach to this dedicated server. So you can consider the packages as dedicated servers. So let's open it, and what we want to change is the backups, because we have now added the backup role to the server, and now we are able to enable all those backups. And let's click save. And then what we need to go is go to the customers, and we will need to create our first customer. Even if you don't have any customer and you want to run websites for yourself, I highly and strongly recommend creating a customer like for yourself, because websites need to have some packages in order to stick for the rules we set in the package settings. So we will add our first customer, and we can name it like the Webnestify internal. For the email, if it's for yourself, you can put whatever you have. You can even put like admin at, it completely doesn't matter, because we can impersonate ourselves. So we don't need to even save those login details for ourselves. And we can name it Simon. We can generate the password, and we will select the package, our first customer. And then, as you can see, we will choose the server placement. So we will choose web applications, and also for the backups, the web application. So yeah, let's click add. And now we created our first customer, and we assign the dedicated server the package for this customer. And yeah, that's basically it, how you can control the packages and the customers. Okay, so now it's time to set up our first WordPress applications or application in general. So in order to do that, you can do it a couple ways. You can go from the admin and you can add a website, but note, if you do this, this website will not belong to any package. So I don't recommend installing web applications as administrator. So always go to your customers. This is my own customer, and I will click impersonate. And as you can see, this is the customer facing interface for the enhance. And the customers can also set their own notifications if they desired. I covered Cloudflare, but Slack is completely fine. And when we go to the packages, this is their package, and they can even put some text if they want. So it's completely up to them. Then we have some disk space that we limit the disk space via the package and also the bandwidth. All right, so yeah, for the website, it's pretty straight, simple. Just go to the website, click at the website, and as you can see, here is our pre-installed WordPress application. Or they can install an app, which will be WordPress or WooCommerce. But also what we can change, uh, we can give them ability to install a standard PHP application. So when we return to admin, we go to the settings, packages, and we go to our first customer. What you can do, you can disable the software installer, click save, go back to our first customer, impersonate, we will add our website, and let me see. Okay, so let's go back again to the admin, go to settings, packages, our first customer, and we can select none, and we can allow the software installer for the WordPress website. So it was in different order, so let's just go save, and we go again to our customer, impersonate, we will add our website, and as you can see, we have now option to start from scratch, and that will be blank workspace for the static websites or even custom PHP applications. So in our case, we will install a WordPress and we will name it a test.cftoots.org. Username, email address, and also the password. A nice thing is that you don't need to remember the password because you can use a built-in SSL login to the WordPress. But if you want, you can also save it and put it to your password manager. And let's click add our website. And now the Enhance is installing our WordPress applications on our domain. So let's just wait a couple of seconds, and then we will go to our DNS and we will add our DNS record. And it will be test. For the website itself, you can enable the Cloudflare proxy. That's completely up to you if you want to use Cloudflare CDN. And for now, let's just copy the server IP address. And let's click save. And now you can wait 5 to 10 minutes for SSL to propagate. But if you don't want to wait, just go to the security, check force HTTPS, and generate Let's Encrypt certificate. All right, so now we have our Let's Encrypt certificate. And also, as you remember, we allowed installation of custom SSL certificates. So that means here we have option to install our custom SSL. And this is really handy if, companies, bigger companies, they might use their own SSL certificate. So this gives them option to install their certificate. And also, if you are using Cloudflare for the CDN, like we do for this website and for this domain, we can also create our 15-year SSL certificate directly from Cloudflare. So I'm going to show you how you can do it. So when you go to SSL TLS menu, and you go, I think, to the origin server, here we have option to generate free TLS certificate signed by Cloudflare. So we create our SSL. For the type, always choose ECC. It is the modern version and shorter. And it will cover always the subdomains and the root domain. And the certificate validity will be 15 years. So we click create. And here we can copy the origin certificate. Go back here. We paste it here for the certificate CRT. And then we copy our private key and we put it here and click upload. And as you can see, we now don't need to worry about Let's Encrypt. But one thing to note is when you are using this Cloudflare SSL certificate, it will only works while your proxy status is on. Otherwise, you will get SSL issues. So remember, when you disable the Cloudflare proxy, you will need to manually regenerate the Let's Encrypt. But if you are planning to use CDN and Cloudflare protection all the time, just don't worry about it, and you will have 15 years to get. So yeah, that's basically it for this SSL certificate. And yeah, now we can continue with further lessons. Okay, and now I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the enhanced website interface, what options you have, and all those goodies. So in your homepage, you can see various menus and buttons, and the design is really nice. I like it so much. And yeah, so first let's talk about the WordPress and the manage function. Let me go back. And this is basically like in other panels like Plesk, cPanel, the WordPress manager. So here in the general menu, you can control the site URL. So you don't need to go to the WordPress and change the site URL there. You can do it straight away from this interface. The file path is always public HTML. Here you see the WordPress version, and if you have outdated WordPress, you can also enable or update WordPress straight from the interface. Then we have plugins that you can manage. So let me delete these default WordPress trash plugins. So we will remove Akismet and also Hello Dolly. And you can also install a plugins from the WordPress repository. Unfortunately, there is no way to install custom zip files like custom plugins from this enhanced interface, but I believe it is in the roadmap. Then we have also themes, so we can remove the themes that we don't need. And also we have the WordPress user management where you can create new admin users for your WordPress. You cannot create standard users via the panel. If you have multiple WordPress user accounts, here you can specify. Let me just actually edit. Let me add our new WordPress user. And here in the single sign-on option, you can specify from which account you want to log in through this single sign-on option. So let's continue. And with the debug menu, as you can see, you can enable the WordPress debug log, and debug display. So basically what it do, it will add, I think, some flags to WP config file. Okay, so that's pretty simple and straightforward WordPress manager. So let me go back to our home screen. And here at a glance menu, you can see what web server is the website running, what PHP version. And if you have some issues with some plugins or something, you can always change the PHP version right here. So you click that, and here you have option to change the PHP version. So let me go back to at a glance. Here you can see the website IPv4 address, MySQL address. So that means we are running the database on the local host. And yeah, the general analytics, but it will also count the balls and the scrapers. It will count every hit 200 to your website. So this is not really good measurement how much big the website is, but it can give you some options and ideas. And of course, the package the website is on. So for now we have only one website in this package, and it is using the 79 megabyte of disk and almost zero bandwidth. Another feature are the backups. So when you go to the backups menu, and as you can see, we already have our first automatic backup that is done, and this is considered as a full backup. You have option to create your own backup if you enable it in the package options. So you can add a note, so before updates, and it will create incremental backup. So let's click backup now, and within a couple of seconds we have our backup with our notes before updates. And the reason why the size is lower, because we removed additional themes and those two plugins. So yeah, you have always option to create your own manual backups. And when you want to restore this backup, you can restore it to this website, or you can also restore it the custom thing. So for example, you don't want to restore the database, you just want to restore the files. So you have option to choose what you want to restore. Okay. Then when we go back to the file manager, let me go actually to the home. You have backups, file manager, right? You have fully fledged file manager where you can control your WordPress files. So by default, this is the root domain. Everything you see .ssh, .wp-cli, this is the root of this website container. And when you go to public HTML, this is the root of the WordPress website. And here you can see the htaccess, wp-config, and those kind of things. And what's really nice in this file manager that you can control or write custom code here. And as you can see, it is like IDE editor. It does not have all the features, but it highlights the PHP syntax, which is really nice. Many other providers don't even have those kind of file manager feature. For example, in RunCloud, honestly, the file manager in RunCloud is unusable for me. So let's just close this. And when you want to create a new file, you just click the button New, and you can select File or Folder, or you can even upload a file or folder to the root of this website. Another thing, if I want to tinker with something, for example, you want to edit something and you want to create backup of this file. So what you can use, for example, you can click this htaccess, right click, and you can compress it. And now we have backup of our htaccess. So we can also rename it, and it's gonna be htaccess backup. And we have our htaccess backup. And I did not add the that zip. Okay, that's now correct. And now we can go and edit the htaccess. And also great feature is that you can select multiple files at once. So you select this, you hold shift, and you select all the files, and you can move those files around to folders, or you can also create archive of those files. You can set the permissions on them, you can get information, or even you can download it. But note, if you go to WP content and uploads, and if you have a lot of files, then the file manager will struggle to load all the files. So in that case, I will suggest to use FTP or SSH, but I'm going to show it to you later in the future lessons. So yeah, the file manager is seriously really good addition for the WordPress management. So let's go back of the file manager and let's continue with the database menu. So when you go to databases, you can see all the databases and also all the users you have. And you can also, from the database menu, add a new database, and also you can create a new user with the password, which is really, really beneficial if you have custom PHP applications. Another standout thing, when you open this database for this WordPress website, that you have one-click login to the PHP-MyAdmin. So that means you can just click this button, and we are now in the website's PHP-MyAdmin and their database. So you can control everything what you need to do. You can export the database, you can add tables, remove tables, so you don't need to tinker with the CLI options. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory for the PHP-MyAdmin. And other great features also are the import and export CQ file. So you don't need to go even to the PHP-MyAdmin. You can just export the database. We can save it in our desktop. And yeah, now you have your database exported, and if you are ready, you can just upload it back. So let me go to desktop, SQL backup, and now it will upload and restore the database for this website. Usually I'm not using too much this function. For example, I'm only using it like seriously for some non-WordPress applications that need connecting to the database. So if you want to migrate them, you will need to download all the files, and also you will need to dump the database. And this interface gives you really great options to do it. Then when we move back with our settings to our domains, let me see. And as you can see, we have our first domain, our root domain, the primary domain. Then we have also the preview domain. And the reason why there is no SSL that we did not edit the DNS record yet. But we will of course do it when we set up our staging system in Enhance. So we will go back to this later. Then, as I mentioned, we have some analytics and visitors, so give you approximate how much traffic, etc., etc. We covered backups, and then we have the security with SSL certificates. And yeah, also in the domains you have option to add add-on domain, which will have a separate document root and will serve different content. So that means if you have like English version of any website or something like that, you can do it like that. Then we have also the subdomain option and also alias. So if you have multiple domains but you want to redirect them to the root of the website, you can redirect to the primary domain, right? It's pretty yeah, easy to understand. And then we have option for the redirect. So it will add, you can add the permanent 301 or 302 redirects. And yeah, you can use the redirects straight to the panel. And now we have the advanced menu option. So when we go to optimization, by default, opcode caching is enabled, which is great. Then when we go to the FTP, I will cover in the future lesson. And then we have the developer option. And from the developer option, you can change the PHP version. You can enable the PHP extensions for your use case. You can restart the PHP container if you see some errors. Here you have the PHP error log. For now, luckily we don't have any PHP errors. And yeah, then we have the PHP editor, which you can add the custom values for the PHP like timeout limit, memory limit, etc., etc. So you can use whatever you want, or as I was mentioning, there will be a premium video of how we can set up some PHP values that I'm using, and also we will cover the database optimization and some system tweaks for maximum performance. Then we have our SSH key manager. This menu is only available if you enable the SSH option in the package settings. So you can add your SSH key. So let me add my SSH key. Let's click upload. And now we have our SSH key, and now the customer can copy this command and they can SSH into the website container to use WordPress CLI features. Then we have a cron job menu. Those are the server-side crons of the website container. So by default, this is the standard WordPress cron job. I usually change this to run every minute. And then you have also options to add your own custom cron jobs. So you can request URL, you can run command and set the interval however you want. So it's completely up to the end user. Then we have IonCube Loader, which runs scripts that have been protected by IonCube, and IonCube Loader cannot be enabled on site using PHP 8.0. And of course, we have the Redis persistent cache. So yeah, if you want to enable object caching, then you can turn it on. And also, I highly recommend in the configuration to add the password authentication and some other tweaks if you need it, and it will be also in the the members only video. All right, so I think we covered everything that you need to know about the WordPress management in the enhance, and yeah, now we can move with other lessons that I wanted to show and get familiar with. All right, so that was the walkthrough of this website management interface. And what are we going to do now is to set up our wildcard staging domain. So when you go back to the admin, when we go to the settings, it is in the platform. You see we have our staging domain cftats.org. So that's completely fine. And now we need to grab the IP address of our web applications server. So in this web application server, we grab the IP address, then we go back to our Cloudflare DNS, and we will set wildcard DNS for this staging. So add a new record. You can use a record. You put star. That means anything that this domain, and we point the IP address to the web application server, and you can also name it like staging, and you can click save. All right, so our staging domain is done. So what we can do now is go back to web application server. We will impersonate ourselves, and we can now create the staging domain. So to create the staging domain is really simple and easy. You can go to websites menu, add a website, you choose the staging website, and this is really great because, for example, if you have multiple servers, you have primary server, production server, or development server. If you have multiple packages, you can you can select to which server you want to enable the staging. So that's really beneficial if you are working with multiple servers. So for this, we will create our staging website, and we will clone our existing. So we click that, and we also perform WordPress search and replace, and we will name it staging. And as I was mentioning, the staging are on the subdomains always. So this is already here because we set this domain to be staging. So let's click add. And as you can see, it is now cloning our primary website to the staging. It is cloning the database, the files, it is creating new user, and also it is creating completely different database username and password, which some providers don't support. You will just have the same. So everything is done. We can manage our website, and we can wait a couple minutes for the SSL. And yeah, all the staging websites will have this blue STG tag on them, and you can also see it from the website menu. Okay, so our SSL is done. Took a couple of seconds actually, and yeah, you can just go to the WordPress admin. So let that load for a second. We can, for example, pretend we are doing some work. We will install some plugin, and then we will push the content to the new to the root domain. And sometimes when you deploy new website, you get 404, but all you need to do is just to refresh, and it will work. So yeah, there's always when you set up the new server is a little bit of nuance, but yeah, it's fine. So right, we are in our staging. We go to the plugins. We will add our new plugin. And what are we going to install? Yeah, we can install Gutenberg. And it is activated. Okay, now we've done a couple pages. We designed the page. Everything is done. So we can close this. And when you are ready to push changes to the live website, Here is the button to push live. You choose to an existing website, or even you can choose to create a brand new fresh website. So in our case, we do to an existing website. And yeah, what we want to exclude files, we don't want to exclude WP content. We don't want to exclude WP config. And yeah, you have options to exclude something. So yeah. And the destination website will be our testing website, and we will push it live. And as you can see, it is the same process as we was creating the staging website. So let's just wait a little bit until it finished, and yeah, then we can manage our website. And yeah, as you can see, everything is working fine. We pushed our staging site, and yeah, now I'm going to show you in next lesson how we can clone the website. Okay, so to clone the website, you can do it a couple ways, even from the website management menu. You can click the button clone, or you can go to the main website menu, add a website, and here you will select to clone a website. So in our case, we can clone even staging. So it will be test2. Let's see if that's .org, and we can click add. And now it is cloning our website without any staging feature, which might be handy. For example, if you set up your own blueprint website, then you can just clone it over and over and over again for your new website builds. So we can go to manage website, and also we can test from this menu to clone it to a new website, and we select our package, and it will be test2. Let's see if it's.org. And we can clone it again. Actually, we already have test2. So it will be test3. And the process is always the same. Sometimes if you have big website like over 2, 3, 10 gigabytes, it will take a lot of time to clone the home directory. And sometimes you can get some error there. But usually when you go and manage the website and see that if the WP plugins are loading, or even if the users are loading, that you can know that the website cloning was done correctly. And yeah, also, you can also clone it to an existing website if you want. So it's it's almost like a staging website without the staging tag. So yeah, that's pretty it for the website cloning. And now what we can check in the next lesson is FTP. Okay, so for the FTP, it is seriously simple. You can go to FTP menu straight away through here, and we will add our first FTP account. And we will use it. Simon, we will generate and save password in our clipboard. And also what you can do, here is the directory path. So by default, it defaults to the website container root. So it will also be available everything what's before the website root, like the public HTML. So here you can use public HTML directory root, and for example, if you have some automations that are uploading images, you can also choose WP content and uploads. And this is really great for controlling the access, because you don't want to give access to some automation tools to have access to everything, because they don't need it. They just need to dump files in the WP content uploads folder. So for the sake of this tutorial, we will get access to the root of the website container. Let me double copy this password, and let's click add. And let's open our user, and here you can see our login credentials. So let me open FileZilla, And in the FileZilla, what we can do, we can open the site manager. We add a new site. We can name it Enhanced Test Website. For the password, which we can select normal, we paste our password there. And also what we need to do is to copy our username. And the username will be here. And yeah, for the host, we need to put the server IP. Let me copy the host IP, and port is 21. So we put the server IP and also port 21. And we can click connect. And site manager cannot remember password. That's fine. And again, we need to add our password there. So let me copy that. Okay, I have our password, and we can remember password until the FileZilla is closed. Click OK. Now it will says that the certificate is unknown because it is a self-signed SSL from the server. So you can trust this. And we should be able to connect to our SSL. And also it will say that it is insecure FTP, but the encryption is implicit, so it encrypts after you connect. So let's click OK. That's completely fine. And now, as you can see, we are in the website container root directory. So now, as I mentioned before, in the file manager, if you have too many content, like the hundreds of images, and the file manager will not work properly, then I suggest or recommend to use FTP. Okay, so that's pretty it for the FTP. There are a couple of things that I want to mention. And yeah, so as you can see, you have a lot of option to give your customers access to their website, right? You can give them FTP access, which many of them prefer because they don't know what is a public key, SSH, etc. They know what FTP is. So in this case, you have the option to give them. But for some developers, as I mentioned in the developer tools, when you go to SSH key manager, you add your SSH key and then you can connect to SSH to your website and use CLI option. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. And let's continue with another lesson. Next week, what I wanted to show you is, for example, if customer do mistakes and he accidentally deletes his website. So let's just go to the website menu and we select this one and we just delete this website. And now, customer asks you, where is my website? Can you please restore it? And as an admin, as I was going through the global settings, you have 7 days to restore the website, and also make sure to inform your customers that you can restore those websites within the limit you set in the panel. So let me go to the admin. And when you go to the website menu, you see with the flag deleted. So you can go check this website and you can restore this website. And yeah, now the website is completely restored. So let me just open it. And as you can see, the website is there. Another thing with the website is that you can even, if you have multiple servers, and you can go to the Move Server menu and you can select website. So for example, if you want to change the backup role of this website and you set up dedicated backup server, for that you can just go and choose a web application. And also, for example, if you delete the website like this, let's delete that and also permanently delete. we have option in the website menu, the archive backups. So when you go to the archive backups, you can see we still can restore even permanently deleted website from our backup. And I think this backup will go within the 4 days. So you set the backup retention to 4 days, and after 4 days, this website backup will be cleared. So yeah, there is like a really nice system. If you also view the mistake, you can also restore this website, or you can just delete this backup. Also, great feature for Enhance is that you can also invite collaborators to the website. So if your customers have some team, they can fully invite people to this website. And how it goes, you can go even to the users, you can invite the user, and you can create user with super admin access. That means they will get access to all the website and all the packages you have assigned for this customer. Or if you want to control to which website you want to give a specific person access, you can do collaborators. So it will be again Simon new. And if you set your emails with SMTP, you can invite them with email. But I don't like setting up SMTP on the enhanced panel. And yeah, you can invite with the link. And here you can choose which website you want to grant to this collaborator user. So let's click invite. And now you just copy this link and you share it to your contact, to your person. So in this part, I'm going to show you how you can easily migrate your websites from any other provider to your enhanced stack. In this case, I'm going to migrate some of the websites for my customer from RunCloud to the enhanced instance. So we will begin with moving this site, FPE build, and then what we also need to do before we start migration, we need to actually copy this URL. You go back to your enhanced instance, and we will need to add our new website. So let's go to the website, add a new website. It will be an application because it is a WordPress. We paste the URL. Here on the top, you choose the package or the server, because as I was mentioning, everything what I do in Webnestify is dedicated. I don't do any share hosting stuff, and I strongly believe that neither you should do the shared hosting. So yeah, so I'm going to choose the development server, and we can just put some placeholders because it will be overwritten once we import the SQL database. So let's just Webnestify webadmin.com. Then we choose any other password. It doesn't really matter because it will be also overwritten. So let's click add. And now we just wait for Enhance to create this containerized website. Because as you remember at the beginning when I was introducing to Enhance, I said that it is using every website, every subdomain, or every install is using its own containerization as its own Unix user, and yeah. So as you can see, now we have our website container in the Enhance, but we don't have any SSL certificate because we still did not migrate the website, and we still did not import the website. So once we have this, what you need to do is just go to your terminal. So let me open it, and here we are SSH into the RunCloud server. And as you may know, the website under RunCloud are under the local user web apps, and here is the FPA build. So now what we need to do is to dump the WordPress database, and it is pretty simple and easy. You just type wp db export, and now we have our database. And now we will need to create the archive for this website. So let me clear this. And for this, we will use software called Pix, which is gzip compression, but it is using all the available system cores. So if you have a bigger website and you have powerful server, this will dramatically speed up the creation of the website archive. As you can see, we have Pix with the parameter, and it will dynamically get all the available CPU cores. And then it will create the website archive called site.tar.gzip. So let's press enter, and within a couple of seconds we should have our archive site. So let's just wait a little bit. And when we ls, as you can see, we have now our archive right here. And also, to be secure, always remove the dumped database. So rm snowball SQL. So now there is just this archive. So that's done. Then what we need to go is go to your server where you want to migrate to. In this case, it is the Enhance. And when we check, when we go back to the Enhance, let me go back to Chrome. Let's go to database. And as you can see, we have our Unix user called FPE Snow1. So let's go back to our terminal. Let's just su FPE Snow1. Go back to the home folder, to public HTML. And as you can see, here is our WordPress installation, but we can completely remove everything. So rm-rf star, and it will remove everything. And now we want to download this archive that we got from the old server. So type wget, and let's do the URL https. And the archive is called site.tar.gzip. Press enter. And now, as you can see, it is downloading the full website backup, including the database. So once we have done this, we need to extract this archive. So it will be tar xzf site.tar.gzip. And as we can see now, we have our WordPress files and also including the WordPress database. So now we can safely remove the website archive. So rm site, and yeah, what's now left, what we need to do is to change the database details in wp config file. So let's open it, just nano wp config.php, and we can go here when we have our database connections. So let's move back to our browser. Let's open the database, and we can copy the name of this database. Let's move back to the terminal. We will change it here. Then we will change it the database user. So let me copy that also. When we go here, let's copy the database username. And of course, we will need to generate our password. So let's just remove this. And we can reset our password. And of course, I will change it so nobody can connect, and even if it's in the localhost. So let me copy the password. And let's go back to our terminal, and let's just paste the password there. And what we need to do now is Ctrl O, enter, and Ctrl X to exit. And now we can actually import the database. So the command for this is really simple: wp db import, and we will do it snowball. And in RunCloud, they put this IP address in wp config, so we need to change it, and we just change it to the localhost. And now everything should work just fine. And our database was successfully imported. So don't forget to remove this SQL database. So rm snowball SQL, and when we make some space, we can actually test if everything is running fine. So wp plugin list, and if we done everything correctly, we should get output of all available plugins inside the WordPress directory, and that means the database connection worked. So, and also what's good to do is wp cache flush, and also shuffle the WordPress salts. So I think this wp shuffle salts. Okay, so wp shuffle salts. Okay, wp help. I'm not exactly sure. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna search Google, and it is actually wp. Hold on, clear wp config shuffle hyphen salts, and we shuffle the security salts key. So yeah, now our website is migrated and it is live. So what I'm going to do now is to change the DNS record, and I try to log into the website to see if everything is correct. All right, so I have changed the DNS record, and now we can move back to our browser to finish the website migration. Right, and what's now left to do is to create our SSL certificate. So we just request our Let's Encrypt, and we just wait for the SSL to be issued. All right, so our SSL is on. We also want to force HTTPS. Let me check the developer tools if there are any issues, and we see some PHP deprecated notices. And yeah, this is usually with the WordPress. We can also enable the Brotli extension. And yeah, let's go back to the home, and let's just one-click log into the admin, and let's see if everything is working. And I believe that everything will be just fine. So let's wait for the login. And yeah, we are in our WordPress and everything looks correct. So yeah, always when you migrate a website, if you are using bricks or anything, you need to regenerate the CSS, save the permalinks, clear the caches, etc., etc. So this is the one way on how we can migrate website from different providers. And I don't like using plugins too much because they are not very reliable and they can cause issues, and also it's sometimes way slower. So with this method via SSH via terminal, most of the modern providers will allow you to SSH into the website, so we can use the same migration method like I did. And as you can see, it took like 2 minutes to migrate the website. And with the plugin, it would take a little bit longer. So with this method, you can always sure that everything was migrated successfully without any issues. And the second method I'm going to show you how you can migrate a website is between two different Enhance instances, because Enhance has feature where you can download the website and then you can also import it into the new instance. So let me just show it to you how you can also do it. All right, so to migrate website between two Enhance panels is really simple and straightforward. As you can see, we are on the old version of this panel, and here we have opened this website. So what we need to do right now is to click these three dots on the right corner, and we need to download the website data. So let's just click that, and it will create our archive. So let me go to the downloads, and let's just save it there. And as you can see, it is also the archive tar.gzip. So it is using the same compression method, basically. Okay, and what we can do right now is we can copy this URL, go to our destination, and we will add a new website. For this, we can start from scratch. We paste the domain name. So let's choose the correct server. Let's click add. And as you can see, now we have the button to upload a backup. And yeah, we can just click upload the website backup. We will choose the file. So we will go from the downloads, and here is our website. So let's click import. And as you can see, it is now uploading and it will unpack it. And of course, the speed will depend on your network connection. So let's just wait a little bit and then we will continue. All right, and after a couple minutes, it took like 5 minutes to import and unpack these website archives. So now it is finished, so we can check with the button Manage Website. I already changed the DNS, so let's just generate our Let's Encrypt, and also we will force HTTPS. And as you can see, everything went smooth without any issues. So this is also the way how you can migrate websites between two enhanced panels. So yeah, I think we covered the backups, and yeah, if you have your preferred way of doing backups with the plugins, that's completely up to you. But know that with plugins it will take longer, and if you have websites bigger than 5, 10, 20 gigabytes, it will it will seriously take tremendous amount of time with plugins. So with the CLI method I showed you in the first use case, this method is proven and it works 100% of the time regarding of the website largeness, database. You can even migrate with 50 gigabyte of database. So yeah, this is seriously the proven method. And also I like this method with moving sites between the enhance. So yeah, I don't need to use this import feature because it took longer. And imagine if you are migrating 50 websites, it will add up. So yeah. And one thing to mention, if you don't want to hassle with the website migration, or you want to migrate your websites to your own dedicated enhanced environment, and yeah, you need some help, feel free to reach, and I'm happy to help you to migrate your website or give you some advices. So feel free to join the Webnestify Discord to discuss. So yeah, yeah, that's it for the website migrations. All right, so we are on this enhanced course, and I hope you really liked it. And there are also some honorable mentions that I want to say as the last lesson, and that is you can also get the CP Fence, which is a server application that provides DDoS protection, malware protection, spam auto shield, IPDP and country blocking features, uh, overall auto MySQL to prevent load spikes, and Monitor Pro for uptime and keyword monitoring. And yeah, it's a good app to use. You need to, of course, know some basic system administration for it. But if you know that and you want to protect your enhanced server, I think CPFence is a great option, and it was tailored made for enhanced clusters. You can also get maybe Monarchs or what's it called, the Bit Ninja or something like that, but they are more widely open and they are use a lot of more resources than CPFence. If you are into the enterprise space and you need to be compliant with some government rules, then I would highly suggest to use ESET Protect. And ESET Protect is an antivirus firewall malware protection for the businesses. And yeah, it is really great solution. You will need to have some knowledge because it is not just a set up and forget thing. ESET is quite comprehensive. And here at Webnestify, I could definitely help you setting up your ESET because Webnestify is MSP with ESET, so I can provide managed enterprise protection for companies, governments, or for anyone who requires it. Then what I would recommend is to monitor, and I mean seriously monitor your systems because you will be putting a live websites on it. You will be offering services to your customers, and you need to know what is going to happen even before the issue arises. And net data is really great with proactive email notifications where you can see what's the issue, etc., etc. So yeah, I can highly recommend net data. And then, of course, what if you lost your access, your SSH key, your public keys, and how will you get back to those servers? So you need to think what options you will have. Yes, you can use probably the Hetzner console, but if you disable the SSH, the password authentication, and you change the root password to something that you don't need to even know. As you know, with my guide, I set the root password to some random passphrase, and I don't even save it. I don't even remember it because I don't need to know root password. In my system, I'm using the Mesh Central, and the Mesh Central is basically a remote management system where you can enroll your server and you can get SSH access or the terminal access directly through your browser. You can also watch my video how to set the Mesh Central. And again, if you're going to have some issues or some questions, the Enhanced community is seriously great way how to interact with other Enhanced users and also other companies that are using Enhanced. So they could definitely help you out. And yeah, that's it for those honorable mentions. And here are some important things or some last words that I wanted to share with you as you follow all the course. I was also mentioning those in the disclaimer. And I was saying that Enhanced Panel is a seriously game changer, but is not for everyone. Enhanced Panel is aiming towards system administrator and the people who knows the Linux servers. They got some basic knowledge and they know how to work within the Linux environment. The great advantage of using Enhance is that you are not connecting third-party servers to your own servers. That means you are highly limiting the potential security incidents on your infrastructure. What does it mean so you can understand it? For example, if some server that is connecting to your got malware or a ransomware, usually those type of infection and attacks will spread to the connected infrastructure. And since you don't have control over those servers who are managing your servers, and you don't know the people who are responsible for their management, what are their operation, security, and all those kind of things. Maybe an AI is controlling their system. You don't know because, yeah, you will never know until the security incident happened. And trust me, I saw many security incidents because of those type of things. People are connecting servers, services without any thought what could happen, etc., etc. And speaking of security incidents, you also need to make sure you have your own backup system. There's never enough of backups, and you cannot rely on the server snapshots that the server provider gives you or the backups feature that Enhance provides you, right? Because it can fail. There are systems, the Hessian snapshot can fail, Enhance backups can fail, and what happened if you need to restore some databases or some critical files and you don't have your own backup system? So yeah, you always need to set your own backup through the server. Don't use any software. Just set up simple rsync, rclone, Borg-base. I also have videos on the backup system on my Webnestify channel. And if you don't want to take hassle of setting up your backups, uh, Webnestify can also help you because I can provide you with managed backup system. So I walk you through what are we going to do, how are we going to set up. I will meet you on a discovery call, to discuss your systems and your requirements, if you have some rules to have. So yeah, only thing you need to have is S3 bucket. It can be even Backblaze, Amazon AWS, or any S3 compliant bucket system in the cloud. And if you have even Nextcloud or your own NAS at home, I can also help you to push those backups to your own local device so you have your critical business data right where it's needed. Because also the cloud can fail. So yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, don't get scary with trying Enhance. Just get your hands dirty, learn, break things, fix them, and yeah, what can I say? You learn from experience, and yeah, Enhance is seriously amazing. And yeah, if you need any additional help, just hop on to the Webnestify Discord, ask me some questions, ask the community on the Enhance, and I think you will be in a good hands and you won't be feeling lost. So yeah, and try to think before you connect some third party systems to your business, because yeah, you never know what can happen in the future, and you want to grow your business, not maintaining issues that could be prevented easily. So yeah, that's it. All right, so that's it. We finished our enhanced course here on Webnestify channel, and I hope I covered every aspect of the things that I'm using, and also you should get familiar with if you want to start running your or hosting your own website and offer dedicated hosting environments for your customers. So I mentioned, I think, everything, and if I missed something, please let me know down in the comments below. And in the future, I will be going over those things. And also, the last notch, I will be also releasing the premium version of this course, where I will talk a little bit more deeper into the server optimization, the system parameters, also for the PHP flags and functions, database optimization through the my CNF, and also I will touch a little bit on the Redis, how you can make a Redis system more secure. So if you want to learn more on those things, I would invite you to join the Webnestify YouTube channel membership, where you can find this video and other videos for the authentic and more deep dives if you are into those things. So thank you everyone for watching, and hope you seriously like this course, and give it a like, share it with someone, and yeah, stay tuned for the next video.